Hello, we're going to make a video, and this video will show how to install the x2go software application on Windows 10. We will then connect to the Lehigh ECE x2go server. x2go is a software application that allows for frame buffering of applications running the X protocol and will provide a faster response time for those users running applications from off campus. Okay, so the very first thing we need to do is open a web browser and go out and get the x2go software. And I'm going to go to Google. Okay, and then I'm going to type in x2go. And this wiki, wiki-x2go.org is the site. The first hit we get here is where I want to go, so I'll click on that. And then if I come over here and get x2go, it says download x2go client. I'm going to be installing the Windows version, so I'm going to click the Windows installer, and then I'm going to click save file, and that will download the x2go software. The x2go software runs about 54 megabytes. I'm on a fairly slow DSL line here, and so it takes a minute or two to come down. While this is downloading, I'll just take a look here and show you something. I'm running from home, and in order to connect to the x2go server and do many of the other functions on the ECE Teaching Lab Linux platform, you need to come and you need to install this software called Cisco AnyConnect VPN. This can be found at the software.lehigh.edu webpage, and you can download it from there. And it looks like we have about another minute left. So it's coming down over the wire. Now, one of the things that happens with the X protocol when you're running in Unix or Linux, it uses an X server to translate that language into graphical things that you see on the screen. So when you run an X client on, say, a Microsoft desktop, that X protocol has to be transferred across the internet to your machine. The X protocol is a very chatty language, so therefore if you're not using a frame buffering package like x2go, if you're off campus from Lehigh, depending on the speed of your DSL line, your response time for your screens going back and forth may be very, very slow. This x2go software package alleviates some of that pain. Okay, it looks like it's downloaded. Now I could just click here and install it. I'm actually going to do it the old-fashioned way. I'm going to do a right click here on this little flag, come in here to File Explorer, come in here to Downloads, and there's my x2go installation page. I always like to go in here to View if it's not turned on already and click this thing here that says File Name Extensions. I like to see those extensions. So that's a .exe program for the installation program. I'll double click that. Do I really want to install this software? Yep. And I'm going to use English, the default. I'm going to agree to the terms of the license. And then these are the default options you get with the x2go software out of the box. This is the start menu item. Notice it says x86, meaning this is a 32-bit program. And the start menu item that will be put, or the text that will be put in your start menu will be right here, and that looks fine to me. And now it's going to go ahead and install. And this doesn't take too long to install. And you'll notice it puts a little icon on your desktop. We'll go ahead and click Finish. Okay, so we're all done with that. We can close this. So now here's the x2go client icon on the desktop. You can also find your x2go if you click on the little start flag here and go into your start menu, and down here in the X area there's the x2go client for Windows, and here's your x2go client. This is what's on the desktop. Okay, we're going to start it off here by clicking on the icon on the desktop. We'll give it a double click here, and when it opens up for the first time, it gives you a little screen here to go ahead and set things up. It also pops up a screen or two asking for some holes in the firewall to make sure everything works okay. Just go ahead and click those boxes and open the holes in the firewall for your x2go to work. Okay, now this screen's a little bit bigger than my virtual machine's capability, so I'm going to scrunch it a little bit. There we go. Now I can see the buttons on the bottom. Okay, so where it says new session, this is just text that's going to be put into the x2go application describing your session. In case you have more than one session, this is handy. So we'll just call this ECE x2go. Okay, and then for the host, this is going to be the x2go server. We have an x2go server that acts as a gateway, and so the name of the server is ECE dash x2go.cc.lehigh.edu, and then you put your login name. This will be the login name that for your ECE Teaching Lab Linux platform ID. Okay, and then now when it has the login or the session type, we're going to come down here and click mate. CentOS 7 or Red Hat 7 uses GNOME 3, and the GNOME that normally works with x2go is GNOME 2. So we've installed the mate desktop, which works pretty well. So okay, so we're going to go ahead and click OK, and that puts a little session box up here. So if you want to initiate a session, you come up here where the text is, the highlighted text or bold text is, and click on that, and that will put the box in here for you to log in. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in my ECE Teaching Lab Linux platform password. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Very first time I'm logging in from a new machine, the server wants to give me the public half of an encryption key, so that the data can be encrypted going back and forth. So I'm going to click yes. I'm going to accept that public half of the encryption key. Now when I log in a second time, I won't see that encryption key being passed if I'm logging in from the same machine to the x2go server. And sometimes it takes a second. The teaching lab machines also have researchers using them, so they can get kind of slow. Okay, so again, here's a few more things where I want to punch holes in firewalls. So I click allow access. Now once you log in, that slowness goes away. Okay, and we can see that I have a little X down here. Sometimes the screen automatically pops up. Sometimes you have to keep an eye out and click the little X down here. And now I'm actually logged into the ECE Teaching Lab x2go server. This screen is actually a Linux machine running in the server room, and you actually have the window here. So anyways, one thing I like to do is I like to come down and under System Tools, I believe it is, I like to get this terminal here, and if you do a right click on that terminal there, you can click add this terminal to the desktop. Okay, and then you'll see the little terminal. So after you log in, click on applications, go to system tools, come on down here and do a right click on this guy here, and then you can go ahead and add him to the desktop. Now the other thing you can do is you can drag this screen around, and you can make this screen have a little bit more real estate, and you can just drag the screen like that and you got a little bit more real estate. Okay, so anyways, that's all we're doing right now, is we're just showing you how to log in and uh, connect to the ECE x2go server, and there'll be some more videos showing you how to actually log into other servers and do some of your work. Okay, that's all there is. I hope this was helpful, and thanks for listening.